The dress still hung on the door when my phone lit up. Your sister needs us. You are always replaceable. I read it twice, standing barefoot on the cold tile of my bridal suite, my heartbeat suddenly louder than the silence around me. My hands didn't shake. That surprised me the most. My name is Lila Mercer. I was supposed to walk down the aisle in less than 2 hours. My parents were supposed to be here. My mother had promised to fix my veil. My father had promised he wouldn't cry this time. Instead, they boarded a cruise this morning with my younger sister, Ava. The same sister who had canceled 3 jobs in 6 months and still somehow needed saving. I stared at my reflection. Perfect makeup. Perfect hair. No parents. So, I typed one word. All right. I didn't cry. I didn't call. I didn't beg. I just opened my banking app. Because my parents had access. Always had. At 1:17 p.m., I watched a pending withdrawal, $1,200 from my account. My wedding account. I locked everything. Every card. Every shared permission. Every quiet doorway they thought they owned. 2 hours later, my phone rang. My mother's name flashed. I answered. And she was already screaming. You ungrateful girl. What did you do? My mother shouted, her voice sharp, frantic, unfamiliar. I held the phone away for a second, studying my reflection again. Still composed. Still untouched. I protected what's mine, I said quietly. There was a pause, then my father's voice cut in, tight with anger. You embarrassed us. We're in the middle of boarding, Lila. Fix it. Now. I almost laughed. You left my wedding, I replied. Fix that. My mother scoffed like I'd said something childish. Ava is going through something serious. You wouldn't understand. You've always been independent. Independent. Their favorite word for neglect. Behind me there was a knock. Soft. Careful. Lila. It was my maid of honor, Jenna. Guests are asking where your parents are. I closed my eyes briefly, inhaling the weight of that question. They're exactly where they chose to be, I said, more to myself than her. My mother's tone shifted, colder now. If you don't unlock that account, don't expect us to help you again. Again. I tightened my grip on the phone. You already stopped, I said. Silence fell on their end. Then my father spoke, low and controlled. You're making a mistake. I smiled. No, I whispered. I'm correcting one. The call ended without goodbye, just a dead line humming in my ear. I set the phone down carefully, like it might explode if I moved too fast. Lila. Jenna stepped inside, her eyes scanning my face. Do you want me to stall? I shook my head. No. Let them wonder. Because I was wondering too, how long they'd been planning this. A memory slipped in. Last week. My mother insisting I link my main account, just in case of wedding expenses. My father asking for backup access for emergencies. Not emergencies. Opportunities. I opened my banking app again, slower this time, tracing every permission, every shared link. There were more than I expected. Small things. Quiet things. They had built doors I never noticed. And I had left them open. Jenna watched me uneasy. You're not crying. I'm done crying, I said. Outside, I could hear guests shifting, soft conversations rising, the distant music waiting to begin. Everything was ready. Everything except the part where my parents walked me down the aisle. My phone buzzed again. A notification this time. Another attempt. $600. Blocked. Then another. $300. Blocked. I stared at the screen as the pattern formed. They weren't asking anymore. They were trying to take. And for the first time, I realized something colder than anger. They expected me to let them. I locked the final permission and closed the app like sealing a door from the inside. Lila, it's time, Jenna whispered, her voice softer now, almost protective. I nodded, but my mind stayed on the screen. They weren't panicking because they missed my wedding. They were panicking because I stopped being useful. That realization settled deep, heavier than anything I'd felt all morning. My phone rang again. Not my mother this time. Ava. I answered. Her voice came in shaky, breathless. What did you do? Mom's freaking out. Dad's talking to the bank. Good, I said. There was a pause, then a small laugh. Not kind. Not grateful. You really picked today to be selfish? She asked. Selfish. I looked down at my dress, at the careful stitching, the months of planning, the empty space where my family should have been. You took them from me today, I replied. Don't rewrite that. Ava exhaled sharply. You'll regret this. You always need us eventually. I almost believed her, because I always had before. I ended the call and stood there, staring at nothing for a second too long. Then I turned to Jenna. Walk me down, I said. Her eyes widened. Are you sure? I took a breath. No, I admitted. But I'm doing it anyway. The doors opened, and the music swelled like nothing had broken. Every eye turned toward me. For a second, I felt it, the absence. That empty space beside me where my father should have stood, steady, proud, present. Instead, Jenna's hand tightened gently around mine. And somehow that felt more honest. I walked forward. Step by step, the whispers faded, replaced by something quieter. Respect, maybe. Or curiosity. People always notice when something isn't where it's supposed to be. At the altar, Ethan's eyes searched mine. Concern first, then something deeper. Where are they? He asked softly. Gone, I said. He didn't ask anything else. Just nodded once, like he understood more than I said. That mattered. The ceremony began. Vows, rings, promises. Each word felt heavier, more deliberate. I wasn't just starting a marriage. I was choosing what stays in my life. When it was time to sign the certificate, my phone buzzed again in my bouquet. I ignored it. For once, I didn't let them interrupt. Not this moment. Not this line I was finally drawing. After the kiss, applause filled the room, warm and real. I smiled, because for the first time all day, I didn't feel abandoned. I felt free. And that scared me more than anything. The reception blurred into soft lights and polite smiles, but my phone didn't stop vibrating. I stepped outside, the night air cooler, quieter, honest. 23 missed calls. Voicemails stacked one after another. I played one. My father's voice, tight, controlled, cracking at the edges. Lila, this isn't funny. The bank flagged us. They're asking questions. Call me back. Another. My mother this time, no anger left, just panic. They froze our transfer. Ava needs that money. What did you tell them? I didn't tell them anything. I just removed myself. That was enough. A message came through while I stood there. Unknown number. Ms. Mercer, this is your bank. We've detected repeated, unauthorized attempts from linked accounts. We recommend reviewing all financial ties immediately. I stared at it, something sharp settling into place. Unauthorized. Not misunderstanding. Not family confusion. Unauthorized. Inside, laughter echoed faintly, my new life continuing without hesitation. Behind me, my past was scrambling to explain itself. My phone buzzed again. Ava. I answered this time. What did you say to the bank? She demanded. I leaned against the railing, steady. Nothing, I said. Then why are they treating us like criminals? I let the silence sit between us, long enough for her own question to echo back at her. Because that's how it looks, I said finally. Ava let out a sharp breath. You're twisting this. No, I replied, calm, steady. I stopped covering for you. There was movement on her end, voices, tension, something unraveling. You don't understand what you've done, she said, lower now. They're asking about previous transfers. About patterns. Patterns. I closed my eyes for a second, pieces sliding together with a clarity I hadn't allowed myself before. How many times? I asked. She didn't answer. That was the answer. My father's voice broke through in the background, angry, urgent. Give me the phone. Ava hesitated. Then the line shifted. Lila, he said, controlled again but thinner now. You need to call the bank and clear this up. Tell them it's family. A misunderstanding. I looked back through the glass doors, at Ethan laughing with someone, at the life I had just stepped into. No, I said. His breath caught. You're going to ruin us over this? I felt something settle, solid and final. I didn't start this, I replied quietly. I just stopped it. I didn't go back inside right away. I stood there, phone still in my hand, feeling something unfamiliar settle into my chest. Not anger, not sadness. Clarity. I walked back into the reception, the music warmer now, the room softer. Ethan saw me and crossed over without hesitation, his hand finding mine like it belonged there. Everything okay? He asked. I nodded. It is now. And for the first time, I meant it without forcing the words. Later that night, after the last guest left and the lights dimmed, I checked my phone one final time. No more calls. Just one message from the bank confirming all linked access had been permanently removed.
Clean. Closed. Mine.
There were no apologies from my parents. No explanations. Just silence. The kind that follows when people realize they've lost control, not connection. I didn't block them. I didn't need to, because something inside me had shifted in a way that couldn't be undone. They didn't leave me at the altar. They revealed themselves. And I finally believed them. I set my phone down beside me and turned toward my future. For the first time in my life, I chose myself.